Hello again. Any of you that are endurance cyclists will know that it takes time to build up the endurance necessary to do really long rides. And one of the things I noticed when I was helping people prepare for Paris was that the people who'd done a super randonneur series the year before were in much better shape for PBP than the people who hadn't. I know that PBP requires you to do a series before, before the end of June roughly, to qualify for the event. But which makes it a bit different to London, Edinburgh, London, which I know a lot of you are probably training for nowadays. But I think the argument still holds that it's better to do at least some very long rides in the year before the main event if you're going to do a grand randonneur or a long bikepacking event or something like that. One of the things I also noticed is that the people who are successful or managing to, obviously it's not comfortable to complete PBP, but the ones that were in better shape to finish were riding comfortably above 20 kilometres an hour for the first part of the event. So that's another criterion that you might want to use in your preparation to be able to ride at 20 kilometres an hour, perhaps for a 200 kilometre ride or 100 miles or something a bit longer. Using these two criteria, you've got a really good basis to develop your preparation for a long event like London, Edinburgh, London, which is coming up next year. I found quite early on, when I was working with Jenny Graham, and perhaps even before that, is that it's reasonable to separate preparation to ride faster and preparation to ride for longer. So building up that endurance to ride for a given duration can be treated separately from getting faster and being able to improve your average speed. So if you're living in the Northern Hemisphere where the weather's improving now and you're getting more daylight, it makes a lot of sense to focus on endurance now, building up your endurance so that you can ride for the durations necessary, recover with a brief sleep perhaps, and then ride again the next day or the next block of duration that you're going to do, so that you can do the time required to complete LEL or whatever you're preparing for. And then over the winter, where the daylight's a bit shorter, the weather's not so good, you can work on speed, you can work on the indoor trainer and things like that, do interval training sessions, which are much more compact. It's much easier to keep warm when you're working harder as well. And then you've got this sort of double approach. And then when the weather gets better again next year, you can bring the two together. Hopefully it's all working for you and you're actually riding fast enough, your average speeds come up enough, and you can build your endurance at that speed and maybe do a 400 kilometre event early in the year, sort of June-ish, and then you sort of focusing particularly on your big event, whenever that might be, if it's LEL, sort of August then. Obviously, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you sort of have to flip it around a bit, but the principles still hold. You can use our PBP Training Planner, a spreadsheet planner, if you like, to plan your Super Randonneur series for this year and also plan your build up to LEL. It would be very similar. PBP and LEL are similar sorts of events. LEL's a little bit longer, but the basics are the same. There's a link in the description for you to download it, so let me know how you get on with it. If you think I could improve it in any way, then please let me know. And if you need a bit of help, then just drop me an email or put a comment in the comments. Not surprisingly, because a lot of our EBR club members live in the UK, we've got a lot of people who are preparing for LEL next year, some of whom have done it multiple times, so there's a wealth of experience to draw on. And if you are preparing for that event, it might be worth considering joining our EBR Cycling Club so that you can, contribute your experience, be part of a mutually supportive group, and also draw on the wealth of experience within the group. It's been amazing, and I've been very pleasantly surprised how the EBR Cycling Club, or the EBR clubs, because we work them, the running club and the cycling club together, how people have learned from each other and developed quite long-term, long-distance friendships and relationships where they share with each other others' experiences and support each other. And the Monday night workshops are really sort of vibrant and helpful, where people can share their anxieties, share their problems, share what they're working on at a given moment and learn from each other. I hope that's useful. It's useful if you've got a big event next year coming up, then do some big events this year so that you've got a stepping stones into your bigger event next year. If, say, you're doing a LEL or something like that, doing a Super Randonneur series this year, if you're doing a big bike packing event like the Transcontinental next year or something like that, that takes a few weeks, then doing some shorter events this year will put you in good stead for doing the bigger event next year. You can work on speed and endurance separately. I usually prefer to work on endurance first, but work it with your weather conditions and available daylight hours. So if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's perfect. You can work on your endurance now, work on speed over the winter, and then put it all together in the springtime for your big event in the summer. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, you have to sort of flip it on its head and suffer the cold a bit to build up your endurance. But I'm sure you'll be able to do it. And I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.